The transport ship Crimson Dawn docked at Station 7 with only one passenger aboard. Commander Zara Voss had sent 50 of her finest soldiers to Earth 3 months ago. Now, Captain Rex Thorne sat alone in the medical bay, staring at walls that seemed to whisper secrets he wouldn't share. Dr. Elena Marsh approached the silent warrior with cautious steps. Rex's uniform bore no battle scars, no tears from combat, yet something had clearly broken inside him. His eyes held the weight of worlds, and when she tried to examine him, he simply said, "Some wounds don't show on scanners, document. They live in places where light doesn't reach." The medical reports showed perfect health. No injuries, no infections, no sign of the horrors that typically mark soldiers returning from hostile worlds. Yet Rex moved like a ghost, spoke in whispers, and flinched at shadows that weren't there. Commander Voss had tried interrogating him for weeks, but Rex's responses were always the same cryptic fragments. "Earth isn't what we thought," he would say. "The real enemy was never down there. It was what we brought with us." Station 7 buzzed with rumors. Some said the Earth mission had encountered advanced alien technology. Others whispered about temporal anomalies or dimensional rifts. But Rex offered no explanations, no tactical reports, no closure for the families of 49 missing soldiers. He would only repeat, "They chose to stay. I chose to remember." When pressed for details, his face would harden like titanium, and he'd add, "Memory is the cruelest burden. Forgetting would be mercy, but someone has to carry the truth." The investigation deepened as more officials arrived from the Central Command. Admiral Kane, a decorated veteran of the Proxima Wars, personally flew in to extract information from the only witness. Rex sat across from him in the interrogation chamber, unmoved by threats or promises. "You can court-martial me, Admiral, but you can't make me unsee what I've seen. Earth changes you. It shows you what humanity really is when stripped of pretense." Kane slammed his fist on the table. 49 soldiers are missing, Captain. Their families deserve answers." Rex's laugh was hollow, empty. "Answers? The truth would shatter this station, Admiral. It would crack the foundation of everything we believe about ourselves." He leaned forward, his voice barely audible. "We didn't lose soldiers on Earth. We lost the illusion that we were the heroes of this story." Dr. Marsh continued her psychological evaluations, trying different approaches. During one session, she noticed Rex sketching abstract patterns on paper. The drawings seemed chaotic at first, but patterns emerged. Spirals within spirals, figures that looked almost human but wrong somehow. "What are these, Rex?" she asked gently. "Echoes," he replied without looking up. "Earth doesn't just have life, document. It has memory. Every step we took, every breath we drew, it all got recorded in ways we can't comprehend." His pencil moved faster, creating shapes that hurt to look at directly. "The planet remembers everything. Every war, every genocide, every moment of cruelty. And it reflects that back at you until you can't tell where history ends and your soul begins." 3 weeks into the investigation, Rex finally broke his silence during a late-night session with Dr. Marsh. The station was quiet, most personnel asleep, when he began speaking in a voice that seemed to come from somewhere far away. "We landed in what used to be called the Amazon. The trees there are older than our civilization, and they whisper stories that predate the stars." His hands trembled as he continued. "The first night, Private Chen saw her grandfather in the jungle. He died when she was 5, but there he was, asking why she'd become a soldier instead of a teacher like he'd wanted." Dr. Marsh leaned forward, sensing the dam was about to burst. "What happened to Chen, Rex?" "She followed him deeper into the forest. Said she needed to apologize for choices she'd made. That was the first night. By the end of the first week, we'd lost 12 soldiers to memories that walked and breathed and called their names." Rex's voice cracked like old wood. "Earth doesn't kill you with weapons or disease. It kills you with truth. It shows you every person you've hurt, every life you've taken, every moment you chose violence over peace. The revelation hung in the air like smoke. Dr. Marsh struggled to process what she was hearing. Are you saying the planet is alive? Conscious? Conscious is too small a word, Rex replied. Earth is a repository of consciousness. Every human who ever lived left an imprint there. And when we arrived with guns and conquest in our hearts, those imprints woke up. They started asking questions we couldn't answer. He stood and walked to the small window, staring out at the stars. Sergeant Martinez met his son in a bombed-out city. The son he'd never had because the war kept him away from home. The boy asked why Daddy chose fighting over family. Martinez couldn't explain. He stayed to try. As the hours passed, Rex continued his confession. Each lost soldier had encountered personalized manifestations of their deepest regrets, their most profound failures as human beings. The planet seemed to hold a mirror to their souls, reflecting not who they thought they were, but who they actually were beneath the uniforms and training. By the third week, I was alone, Rex said, his voice now barely a whisper. The others had all chosen to face their ghosts rather than run from them. They found peace in confronting their demons, even if it meant never coming home. He turned back to Dr. Marsh, and she saw something in his eyes that chilled her to the bone. I was the coward. I ran. I chose the safety of ignorance over the pain of growth. That's why I'm here, and they're not. The final piece of the puzzle came when Rex revealed what he'd seen in the planet. Planet's core memory banks. Earth showed me the future, document. Our future. If we don't change, if we don't learn to choose love over fear, creation over destruction, we'll become like the ancient civilizations buried in its soil. Just another layer of regret for the next species to discover. His words carried the weight of prophecy. The soldiers who stayed. They're not dead. They're learning. They're becoming what humanity needs to become if we're going to survive what's coming. Commander Voss arrived as Rex finished his tale. She'd heard enough through the monitoring system to understand the implications. If what you're saying is true, Captain, then Earth isn't a conquest. It's a test. Rex nodded slowly. A test we're failing, Commander. Every ship we send, every soldier we lose, it's because we're still thinking like conquerors when we should be thinking like students. He straightened his shoulders, and for a moment, the old soldier returned. My recommendation? Declare Earth off limits. Tell Command it's too dangerous for human occupation. Because the truth is, we're not ready for what it has to teach us. In the weeks that followed, Rex's report was classified at the highest levels. Officially, the Earth mission had encountered hostile environmental conditions that proved fatal to all but one member of the expedition. Unofficially, certain individuals began asking different questions about humanity's expansion into the cosmos. Rex requested assignment to the Outer Rim, as far from Earth as possible. Before he left Station 7, Dr. Marsh asked him one final question. Do you regret coming back? He considered this for a long moment before answering. Every day, document. But someone had to carry the warning. Someone had to plant the seed of doubt in minds that are too certain of their righteousness. He paused at the doorway. Maybe someday, when we've learned to be better than what we are, we'll be ready to return to Earth. But until then, the bravest thing we can do is stay away.